Another incredibly hot day here in Massachusetts. No, until it's cooler. The reason I mention it is because I don't have jewelry on and I have a t-shirt on, and it's just, when it gets hot, if you go back and look at my videos, you'll notice, like, when the weather is cooler, I do the earrings and the necklaces, and I might even have a hat on or something, and I'll have like great clothes and stuff. And then when it gets warm, when it gets into the summer, I'm in a t-shirt. I'm lucky if I put on earrings. I do not do well in heat, and as my brain shuts down. Anyway, today we are going to look at the Dior Backstage summer releases. And basically there are three color stories. There is Poppy Coral, there is Bronze Glow, and there is Pink Lilac. Now, I actually talked about the Pink Lilac a little bit earlier, but I didn't have the Poppy Glow or the Bronze Glow. I have the blushes and I have the maximizers. I also have one lip oil in the Pink Lilac, and then I have one of the lip glows in the Bronze Glow. Those products, the lip oil and the lip glow, they're really good products, but they're coming like second or third after the maximizers. The maximizers are my favorite. Then I'd say the lip oils, then I'd say the glows. The lip glows are basically, in my opinion, a lip balm with a little bit of shade. I have one on now. I bet you could not tell. This is the Bronze Glow. I'll put it on again so you can see it. But it's just, it's very much it's chapstick. It's a balm. Don't get me wrong, I like balms. I use them all the time. Burt's Bees are the ones that I usually carry in my purse. This one's great too. Carry it in your purse. But it's a lip balm. It's not even a shiny lip balm or a balm that actually is more like a lipstick. This is, in my opinion, Burt's Bees. There you go. There's the shade. That's the Bronze Glow. This is what it looks like. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're the kind of person who wants the Dior one in your purse, and I like to have my bling, guys. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that I feel like my Burt's Bees, they have ones that, if you didn't know, that have pigment to them, that have color, have shade. They're a lot cheaper. They're like, I don't know, like $4, $5. And you basically get, to me anyway, it's the same product. It's a really nice balm. It's very good. It feels comfortable on the lips. But it's not a different product. It's just better packaging. Now, again, I do like my packaging. Again, I'm not going after you guys if that's what you prefer to have in your purse. But for me, I would rather just use the Burt's Bees and get on with it. The lip oil is a really good lip oil. In fact, this was my favorite lip oil of all time because of the doe foot. It has this huge doe foot, which I personally really like. I think it makes the lip oil go on better, and I really enjoy it. And I still love the lip oil, but I think my favorite lip oil now is the Hermes because I like the scent, which is a little strange for me to say because I suffer from migraines and I don't usually like things with a lot of scent in them or perfume, but there's something about the Hermes, there's like a gourmet scent. They smell like berries or, I don't know, a spice or something. So they don't trigger headaches, and I really like the scents that I have. So they come first. Lip oil from Dior is the second. Also, I would say the lip oils from Dior used to be really hard to get. I don't know what happened. They changed the manufacturing or packaging, but now they're easier to buy. So I'm not as adamant about getting them when they do come out because I feel like I'll have an opportunity to get them later. I always try to be very honest with all you guys. All right, so let's get into the blushes and the maximizers. The thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you all the Backstage blushes that I have. I actually have 5 shades, including the 3 new shades, of the new formula. And then I have 2 of the old formula. And the reason I don't have makeup on my face, I have some foundation. It's like a tiny bit of foundation on, a little bit of mascara, and then, the lip glow. I want to swatch the shades on my cheeks so you can see them while we talk about them, and then I'll show you the swatches of the maximizers. So the first thing I would say is that the new formula, when they changed from this, these are the ones I have in the old formula, and I'll show you how you can tell the difference between the old and the new. Hint, it's packaging. So this is the old formula, this is the pink, and this is the coral. These were like some of my favorite blushes, actually. I loved the pink especially. And I really liked that formula, and I thought it was very smooth and it looked beautiful. It was 0.16 ounces. I'm just looking to see if it was anything else different. Packaging, 12 months. And then they changed to the new packaging. The new packaging has the Dior in the big bold letters. I think you can see that. Stop focusing on my face. And focus, there we go. So it wants to see my face. I don't know why, I just want to see that. This has 0.15 ounces. It is 0.01 less. Because that's what we do. We make the formula less good and we make it smaller and we make it more expensive. I'm a little salty today, guys. Sorry about that. This might be a salty Saturday video. I don't know. Yeah, I have videos coming up. We're going to talk about Guerlain, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, so those two shades, by the way, were Rosewood and Mahogany. And I'll show you, the shades are very pretty. And then we have the new ones. We have Pink Lilac. I'll open them in a minute. We have Bronze Glow. And then we have Poppy Coral. And these are the new packaging and the new formula. So they are a little bit smaller. The formula is different. I believe they took out talc. I believe they did some other things as well. And they made it a little smaller. I've done a lot of videos on what I will call the business of beauty. And it's interesting. I actually get a lot of feedback on those. I think I'm going to actually create like a series, maybe like deep dive or something behind the scenes type of stuff. Because the more I get into fashion and beauty and I spend more time in it, I realize even more than I did originally how bizarre the incentives are and the process. We just saw the numbers come out for Chanel. Their profit went up. They had a 16% overall growth for 2023. And in that announcement, by the way, there's also now rumors of another price increase. So I'll put that out there. So anyway, on a different note, there's Pink. So again, this is the original formula. That's what it looks like. This was very popular and also hard to come by. It used to sell out quite often and it was difficult to get. And I've had this one for a while, but I will tell you, I remember when you could tell like it was going to be changed or updated or whatever because you couldn't find it anywhere for a while. And I was like, oh, they're just continuing it or changing the formula. So that's the Pink. Like I said, really pretty Barbie pink, great shade. I don't really pink generally. It's not my go-to shade, and even I liked it. I was like, oh, because it gives a really healthy glow on pale skin. On deeper skin, it's very luminous. It looks really nice. I was very fond of it, and still am. And I'll be honest, I've had this one for a long time, and I haven't really made a dent in it. If you look, the Dior's, the embossing is like still visible on this. And I've had this definitely more than 4 years, and I do use it, but it does last because it had like almost like a big gelée feel to it. But anyway, so this is the coral. Now, when I first saw the coral, I was like, ooh, it's a little bright. I don't know if it's coming through on camera, but it's a bright shade. It almost looks like the orange of my shirt, but it's not that way on the face. It's actually really pretty coral. And what I noticed about these blushes is that at the time, I'm 3 swatches, so it's definitely brighter. At the time, I realized that these were more like adventurous shades, if you will, than the other Dior shades because they were meant for like the runway. They were, you know, they were the more modern, outlandish, whatever you want to use, adventurous side of Dior. Whereas the other blushes, the couture blushes, were more of like the subdued blushes. So these had a great pigment to them, and they were brighter, they were more happy shades, right? And they've continued that with the new shades, but I feel like the formula, it doesn't swatch as well. Let's put it to you that way. It does look nice on the skin, but the swatching is not great. All right, so this is Rosewood. Again, this is not a new shade. This has been out for a while, but it is the new formula. Can you see how it looks patchier than the ones I put on this side? It's not bad. You can build the pigment. It's a beautiful shade. I love Rosewood, but it's a little deep for me. I just put it on lightly. But if you notice the first swatch of it, it's a much patchier, drier formula. It does not go on as smoothly as the old Backstage. Again, it's pretty. It's a nice color. The formula is good. It's good. It's just not as good as it was. So it depends on how you feel about that. Mahogany. Now look, you can always look back on things, right? And say things were better before. We all do that. Like when you're a kid, everything was better. You look back on things with a sense of nostalgia that maybe it's not quite real. This is the mahogany. You can see this is pretty deep. I will only do 2 swatches of this one because otherwise it looks very deep on my skin. It's a beautiful shade. I love the fact that they have more inclusive shades for folks who have a deeper skin tone, and it is beautiful. It's a really nice, rich brown. But can you see how there's like a patchiness in the middle? And the same is true for the Rosewood, which is not true of these. And again, there's just like a lack of creaminess to the formula now that when you're swatching, you'll see. If you're putting it on with a brush, which is mostly what we're doing, I don't notice that much of a difference from the old and the new, except to say it's not as luminous and it's not as creamy on your skin. So if you have very dry skin, like I used to have, you might not like it. All right, so this is the new shade, Bronzed Glow. This actually came out, I think it came out like a month ago. I did not pick it up right away because again, it's not, see the patchiness of it when you first put it on? Again, this is not bad. It's just, it's got this, it's hard to explain, but it doesn't go on evenly. You have to like do this and spread it out and then it gets even, which you don't have to do with the older formula. Again, beautiful shade. The mahogany, of course, is a cooler, which is what mahogany actually looks like. Mahogany wood is this cooler, almost grayish brown, whereas the Bronze Glow is definitely like a bronzy brown. It fits its name. It's quite beautiful. I do really like it. Again, you're gonna have a little bit different of a look to it, unfortunately, than the old formula. All right, so this is Poppy Coral. And what I'm gonna do with this one is I'm gonna put it next to the coral of the old. I wanted to try to get these colors similar, they're similar colors. And then I'm gonna put the new pink next to the old pink so you guys can see it. All right, so here's Poppy Coral. And I'm gonna put it next to the old coral. 1 swatch. 2 swatches. 3 swatches, exactly the same over here. Now, I will say, this one, there's actually a little bit of patchiness, never mind. It's much pinkier than the old coral. This one has more pink. This is actually, I think, a more coral. This is called Poppy Coral. It's like a poppy, which has a little bit more pink to it, so that's fair. Poppy Coral, and this is the old coral. So it's a brighter, pinker color. Depends on which shade you like more. And then we have the pink Lilac. Now I have used this before, but I have not compared it for you guys before. So this is pink Lilac and this is pink. So they are different. They are not supposed to be the same, but you'll see with this one, it doesn't swatch as well. It like, I don't know, this one in particular seems a little patchy. I don't know if I just got a patchier one. I don't know. But you have to build this up one a little more to see it as well. So there's pink Lilac. So pink Lilac, pink coral, and the new Poppy Coral. The pink Lilac definitely looks more like lilac, has a purple tone. Pink is definitely Barbie pink. This is a true coral, and this is like a pinky coral, Poppy Coral. So again, the colors fit. And then we have Rosewood, which is definitely a rosewood. Mahogany, which is a cool brown, and Bronzed Glow, which is a warm ember brown. And those are the shades. So while I leave those on my face, I want to show you the maximizers. And what I would say about the maximizers, and I've said this a couple times, I love these maximizers. I think these are one of the best products that Dior has come out with in the last few years. And that's why I say I know they can do great things, because I love their maximizers and I think they're fabulous. But if you use the maximizers, you have to understand that these are not, some have more intense and they're called like intense colors, but they are not meant to be opaque and they are not super pigmented unless they say intense for the most part. That's with the most of the shades. There are a few shades that actually have more intensity than others. And that's, to be honest, just at the whim of Dior. It's hard to tell online. But I would also say that some are sparkly and shimmery. They say that in the name. So you should be able to tell like the finish. So here are the three new ones. And I think you can probably tell this is Pink Lilac, that's Bronzed Glow, and that's Poppy Coral. I think you can also tell that Bronzed Glow is more pigmented than a lot of the other shades that we have seen. So when you put on the Bronzed Glow, it actually looks like you have something on your lips more than just, you know, a highlighter. So I'm going to put this on for you to see. Now again, I have the Bronzed Glow Lip Glow on already. So if you're like me and you like a little bit more bronzy, brown type of lipsticks, I think the 90s, this is a really good shade. It goes a little cooler on me, most shades do, but I really love this color. And I think there's a couple of maximizers that I've called out before that I really like. So you know that I'm like, oh, I really like this one. This one's a good one. I really like the Bronzed Glow. It says exclusive on Sephora right now. And it's on Dior. I'm not sure I've seen it anywhere else. You guys let me know if you have. But Bronzed Glow, it's a good shade. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these off so you can see one more time. Pink Lilac, Pink Coral, and then Poppy Coral. These are the two original formulas. And then we have Rosewood Mahogany and Bronzed Glow, all new formulas. I'm going to take these off. I'm going to put the little bit of foundation back on. I have no bronzer on, nothing like that, so you can see the shades. And I'm going to take the Bronzed Glow and I'm going to use it as bronzer. And then I'm going to take the Poppy Coral and the Lavender and use them as blush so you can see them all on my face. Be right back. Okay, my favorite people, let's get going with the bronzer. I've lost it today. All right, let's try the Bronzed Glow on me as a bronzer. Now, I'm going to try to be careful here. Let's see. Let's start at the hairline. So in case it's like way too much, it just blends into my hair. No, that actually looks nice. Okay. Yeah, I have been on vacation. I have a couple days left. I have never needed a vacation much. It's been absolutely great. And we'll just leave it there. I do have videos coming up if they haven't come up already about my trip. And I have a birthday video coming up. My birthday is May 31st. And I have a wish list video and so much stuff that I gotta get going on. So here, interestingly enough, this I think looks great as a bronzer on me. Again, I kept it very light. I'm being very careful with it. But as a bronzer, I think this is fabulous on me. Because it's got a little bit of, it's almost got a little bit of red, I think. Yeah. Those of you who are out there who have been looking for a bronzer with a little bit of red, this is nice. This is interesting because it does have a little bit of red to it. I'm swatching it again on the back of my hand. I'm just like I'm going in very deep with it. I'm trying to see. Yeah, see that? There's a little bit of redness to it, which is why I think it's working so well on me. Okay. So I found a new bronzer. I probably wouldn't use this as blush, to be honest, but as a bronzer, all right, very nice. Now, can you see how like smoothly it went on my face? And on the swatch, it can be a little patchy, but again, if you're using a brush, I think it's fine. What would my thought be about the overall formula? I still like the old formula better, but since we're not going to get it, there's no point in complaining about something they're not going to change because it's been that way for a while. And I really do think it has a lot to do with the whole clean beauty thing. So I'm not going back, guys. I will say that the new formula, although not as good as the old, once you use a brush with it, I do think it looks really nice on the skin. Especially this one worked beautifully as bronzer for me. That makes me happy. Let's take the pink lilac first, because if I put the Poppy Glow on first, you won't be able to see it. And I'm just gonna use this just like right here. Can you see how that just let a little bit of glow to my face? And I'm literally gonna just pat that in like that. And I think for me, that is my favorite way to use the pink lilac. If I use the pink lilac like this, it looks too purple on me because it does have it's pink lilac. It does have that purple lilac lavender kind of thing. And the thing about lavender and lilac, it can make your skin look brighter, especially if you have a paler skin tone. It can give a brightness to your skin like a lavender powder. It also can take out like a little bit of orange. So it looks really nice on somebody who has like my kind of coloring. You want to remember though that it can look purple, and it does depend on your skin tone. But if you look at, for example, blue and orange are actually opposites on color theory, right? So when you think about red and green, if your face has rosacea like mine and you have redness, you use a green tone to dilute that. If you have orange, a bluish or purple, depending on the shade of the purple, can help that. And there are people who have an orange tone under their eyes. If you have that, something like a bluish lavender shade will help it, but you do want to be careful because you don't want it to be like blue or purple or green. You want to have a shade that is, what I'm looking for, that will mesh with your skin, not something that will override your skin tone. And to be honest, the only way you can truly know that is one, use the product, because some products are thicker or creamier or lighter or silkier or whatever it is, and they might not mesh with your oil, if you have oily skin, dry skin, whatever, wrinkles, all those things, and the other product that you're using. Sometimes products just don't play well together. Like I've seen products that I really love, and then I put on something over, it does not play well together. Usually it has something to do with oil and water, but there's other reasons as well. So you need to play around with these types of colors and figure out what works for you. But I will say that lavender, get back to my original point, lavender, purplish, bluish tones do help alleviate orange. So if you put something like here and it's like a brightening effect, which is what you get with a lavender or a lilac on a pale skin tone, it will brighten up this face. If you put this under your eyes, I've seen people do this, that can work, but you have to be very careful with it. Let me see if I have oh, I know what I use. Hold on. Okay, I was looking for my Wayne Goss, like super fluffy brush. So you could take something that has a little bit of lavender or a little bit of pink and put it under your eye, but watch, it's like a powder. Like when I use the lavender powder or pink powder from Westman, it's that idea, but you gotta be careful. Because if you use too much, it's not gonna look right. It's gonna look, frankly, it's gonna look bad. But if you use a little bit, you see how it makes it look a little bit brighter under my eyes? And if you get really close, you can see it doesn't look pink or purple, but I used a tiny amount. If you're looking for coverage, like a concealer, you want something that's actually a color corrector. Put the color corrector on first, then the concealer, and that will help you. Long way of saying color theory works, and if you ever want a tutorial on that kind of stuff, let me know. All right, so now we're gonna take the Poppy Coral. So now the Poppy Coral is, again, a bright shade. I am using it lightly, and I'm gonna use it as my blush, almost as a contour. I'm not using a lot. And I'm going around the lavender, so the lavender just stays right there. And I'm using this as the contour. Kind of an 80s idea, but it still works. So those are the three blushes. I do think they're beautiful on the face. I do think they're worth picking up. But again, I'm gonna say to you, what you decide is worth it, what I decide is worth it, can be different things, based on what you're willing to spend, how you feel about the fact that the formula is not as good as it used to be, blah, 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 blah. Overall, I would give this like a B. It's a good product. I do think the new shades are very pretty. I think they're pigmented, so if you're someone who has a deeper skin tone, at least these will show up. There are many Dior blushes that I happen to love that do not show up on anything over like a light skin tone. So these definitely show up on a medium, deep, and a deeper skin tone. So that is fantastic. I would also say that they swatch much worse than they look on the face, and that the Dior Bronzed Glow is especially great as a bronzer if you have a pale skin tone. I don't know how well it's gonna show up on a deeper skin tone than light, to be honest, because I went in really lightly. I know you can build it up, but it would look a little ridiculous on me, and it still won't help you gauge if you have a medium skin tone how it will look. But I will say, based on the swatches on my face, you can tell it's pretty pigmented. You should probably be all right. I also am going to take the mahogany here. I just want to show you. The reason I say these are good and I give them a B and they're worth picking up is I'm using them a little differently than they probably were intended. I'm using the mahogany as a contour shade. I am using the Bronzed Glow as a bronzer. I am using the Pink Lilac as a brightener. I am using the Poppy Coral as a blush, so that one's being used, quote, correctly. So for me, depending on how you want to look at it, I might not necessarily be using these blushes in the way that they are, quote, marketed, but I think you can use any product for any reason, anywhere. That's, I think, the point of makeup. And for me, using these products as those work really well. The mahogany is a fantastic contour shade for me. The Bronze Glow is a great bronzer glow. The Pink Lilac is a really great brightener. And I find that the old formula of coral and pink work as blushes. The rosewood works as blushes as long as I go in light. And the Poppy Coral works as a blush as long as I go in light. So that's how I'm using them. That's what works for me. That's what I think looks great. You can probably hear Ellie snoring in the background because she does not agree. But let me know your thoughts on the new products. The maximizers are all good. I just like the product. However, I will say Bronze Glow is my favorite of the 3 new ones. So let me know if you picked these up, what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear about it. And if you have any questions, certainly let me know. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you in another video really soon.